off their Rose Bowl victory, the Spartans face new challenges in the Big Ten. Just down the road, the Wolverines are on the prowl. TV6 Sports presents Countdown to Kickoff. Here's TV6 Sports Director Fred Human.
Good evening, everyone. Well, happy football season. Welcome to another TV6 Sports Special. I am Fred Human. Thanks for tuning in tonight. 11 years here, and I've been privileged to host and produce more than 60 of these one-hour sports specials, and we think this one lives up to the standard we set around here with our great commitment to local sports. This is, of course, our college football preview show. Michigan State to open the 2014 season Friday night under the lights against Jacksonville State at Spartan Stadium. The dreams increase as the victories in the championships accumulate. Spartans have one more practice, a light one tomorrow before game day arrives. That will be the 25th practice of the preseason before their opening kickoff to the new year. And coming off one of the most glorious football seasons in history at this school, there is great anticipation for the season. Fans are anxious, coaches are anxious, and so too are the players.
I'm looking forward to basically our defense coming out and just showing, we haven't taken a step back and we're even hungrier and we're still a great defense.
Probably running out the tunnel, that's always a great experience and stuff like that, and especially with the new add-on. I know the stadium will be packed and stuff like that. It's the first game, so I'm most excited for that.
This is your first of 4 night games this season. What do you think that adds to the atmosphere when playing a night game in college football?
I mean, it's a waiting game. Everyone's just sitting around, waiting around. We really want to just play already, but as soon as you get out there and you see you're playing underneath the lights, you hear all the fans. It basically takes you back to high school, and high school is probably one of the best times I'm sure of everybody on this team's life. So it just makes everything so much more comfortable for us, and we're looking forward to that.
Only reason why I like playing during the day is because that wait until the night game. But other than that, this is what people dream about. Friday night lights, all that. It plants that in your head when you're young that you want to play under the lights. You want to play with thousands of fans watching you. So I would definitely say I like playing night games better. And not only that, when you finally run out of that tunnel, in Spartan Stadium, it's pretty special.
No one more anxious than Connor Cook for the coming season. A year ago at this time, he was the backup to Andrew Maxwell. And everyone who follows this program closely was telling me Tyler O'Connor was the heir apparent at quarterback, not Connor Cook. But opportunity arose. Cook made the most of it. Audrey Dahlgren joins us now to share her conversation with the new big man on campus. Hi, Audrey.
Hey, Fred. Michigan State's quarterback battle at the beginning of 2013 was the topic of conversation entering every practice. And Mark D'Antonio was asked about it during every press conference. It seemed like as we fast forward to the new season, the dynamic at the quarterback position is quite different for the Spartans this year. We're not asking who the starting quarterback will be, rather what will Connor Cook do?
I'm sure it's frustrating for Andrew Maxwell because he's not the guy pulling the trigger today.
September 7th of 2013 will forever be a milestone moment for MSU junior Connor Cook. The Hinckley, Ohio native made his first career start at quarterback for the Spartans on that day, and since then, Cook has made it a priority to take the offense under his wing.
It's up to the guy pulling the trigger and Connor Cook to be on the money.
Last year during the competition, I feel like I was so concerned about what I can do to make myself better, and I feel like since I've become the guy, it's different where I'm doing whatever I can to help the team out, and I'm focusing more on the wide receivers and how they're going to run their routes to get open, or the tight ends or the offensive line. But it's also different for them too, just because, especially the wide receivers, when you're working with 2 other guys, I throw the ball differently than Andrew Maxwell or Tyler O'Connor, and it's different on them.
With 13 starts under his belt and an undefeated 8-0 record in Big Ten play, Cook wants the offense to pick up right where they left off after MSU's 24-20 Rose Bowl win over Stanford.
22 of 36, 332 yards and a couple touchdowns.
I know I've worked really hard with all the wideouts this past summer, just getting the timing down, just because I'm going to be obviously the one throwing the balls all the time, but building time with them, getting in watching film with the offensive linemen, and just continuing to build that chemistry.
Unlike 2013, the Spartans have more starters returning on offense than defense, which Cook believes will continue to build continuity on that side of the ball.
It's a very comforting feeling, I know that, being a quarterback, just because, anytime you have a good running game, that takes pressure off the quarterback. And, we'll have that this year with Jeremy Langford and the other running backs. When a quarterback has time to pass and has a good, solid offensive line, that's reassuring. reassuring, and we have that. And then, I feel like our deepest spot on offense is our wide receiver position. And you got guys like Tony Lippett, guys like Aaron Burridge, Matt Maxud, Aaron Troop, D'Anthony Arnett. I can go on, for days. And I mean, just being able to have that in my cusp, in my grasp, the weapons that I can use in the offense, it's very reassuring.
Is there a confidence there that you think is a lot greater than last year?
Oh, for sure, because we have an identity. Last year, there was no identity literally at every position on offense. Running back, tight end really, quarterback, receiver, and now that we have an identity at all those spots, it's just, the confidence is at an all-time high. Especially with the spring that we had, guys coming out making plays at all positions, different guys stepping up, the spring that our offensive line had. So anytime that you have a quarterback playing with confidence along with any of the other positions on the offensive side, it's just going to, breed success.
Cook finished his first year as MSU starter with one of the best statistical seasons in school history, and he now enters his second season as the starting QB, ranked second in the MSU single-season record book with 22 touchdown passes. And get this, Fred, it's quite ironic, but D'Antonio believes that he has more depth at quarterback on this year's roster than he's ever had before while coaching at MSU.
All right, thanks, Audrey. Tyler O'Connor running as the backup right now, and Damian Terry running a close number 3. When Countdown to Kickoff returns, the quarterback of the Spartan defense joins us, Shalik Calhoun, one of the new captains, and he is itching to get going in his encore season to last year's greatness. Kevin Gale goes one-on-one with Shalik. Up next, please stay with us.
TV6 Sports Countdown to Kickoff is brought.
This is a statement game. If you can't get excited about playing in Spartan Stadium on your first game of your senior year, junior year, freshman year, sophomore year, then maybe it just didn't happen for you. So if things don't go right for us, it will not be because we have overlooked Jacksonville State. And I can promise you that.
Mark D'Antonio will get that message across to his team, probably already has, as Jacksonville State will come in here all fired up to pull off the upset. Spartan fans, I'm here to tell you there is a good chance you are going to see a lot of fresh faces playing for this MSU team in 2014. 2 freshmen on the defensive line are getting rave reviews. One of the newcomers on that D-line is Malik McDowell, whose highly publicized decision to go on to attend school here got lots of attention after a family squabble. The other beast on the D-line is a freshman from Chicago, Enoch Smith Jr., number 56 there. He's going to be an impact player here. Enoch was ranked among the top high school defensive linemen in the country. Enoch and Malik were both really comfortable from right here on campus from day one.
Was there a moment here you felt like a Spartan?
I feel like a Spartan right now. The team make me feel like a Spartan. Just being out here playing with my friends makes me feel like a Spartan, so yeah.
The day I moved into my dorm, watching my parents pull off, walking back into the dorm, I'm thinking like, wow, I made it. I made my parents proud, because when my mom was pulling off, she shared a couple tears. I did as well, but we just had that connection there, and then they told me how proud of me they were, and then me knowing that I'm here on my own, have to fulfill my dreams and ultimately get that degree. It's something I've been dreaming about ever since I was little, making myself on the video game, playing for Michigan State, and then actually having the opportunity to come here. It's like a dream come true.
Why were you a Spartan in the video games? You're from Chicago.
I honestly can't tell you why. My little brother, he's actually one of the people that got me hooked on to Michigan State, and then always watching teams like Michigan State, Illinois, all the Big Ten, and teams all around the country on TV, just wishing that I would have the opportunity to play, and then actually coming out and fulfilling that dream is just an honor.
Yeah, you can't say little brother around here, you know.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. When I say little brother, I mean my brother. Yes,
sir. That's a bad word around.
Oh, yes, sir. I already know.
When I came here, I felt at home. It just made me feel like a part of the team. When I got here, other places I wasn't as comfortable. I felt real comfortable here, and it was winning.
What was it like watching the Rose Bowl, knowing you were coming here?
It was great, because a lot of people at school, they were doubting Michigan State, saying that Stanford has the best offensive line in the country, saying we're going to get beat, stuff like that. So I would just take it here and there, smile, and be like, okay, we'll see when the game comes on. So during the game, a lot of people were tweeting at me or texting my phone. I'm like, just wait till the game is over. The game was over. I didn't receive any text messages. I just put out a couple tweets. So it was a good moment.
Yeah, Enoch may redshirt this year, but keep an eye on him for the future. New guys have a man on defense they can look up to. And I mean, he's a man. He's Shalik Calhoun, the man of the Spartan defense. Kevin Gale now joins us to go on the inside with Shalik. Kevin?
Fred, with explosive speed and a 6'5", 250-pound frame, he's built like a freak. With a face mask like a Batman villain, he strikes fear. But when the helmet comes off, Shalik Calhoun is nothing but friendly. He's only a junior, serving as a team captain, following in the footsteps of great Spartan defensive ends like Jarrell Worthy and William Golston. That's a lot of weight, even for Shalik's broad shoulders. But he doesn't mind, and nothing can dim that trademark Shalik smile.
Rush! Ball's loose! Picked up! Touchdown! Calhoun!
The way I see it, there's bursting onto the scene, and then there's Shalik Calhoun in 2013. It felt like every time you were near the ball, you were taking it to the house.
Hit, he lost the football. Scoop, score, and Michigan State is on the board. Shalik Calhoun with the touchdown, his second of the season.
It was pretty amazing. It's kind of like one of those breathtaking moments, you know, that you never think that could actually happen. You know, those type of things happen for me. It's actually funny because before, you know, my first touchdown, I actually dreamt about it, you know, and when I woke up, I was like, there's no way that could happen. And when I went to scoop and score the ball and run into the end zone, I thought, like, in my dream, I dove into the end zone. So I thought about it for that split second. I was like, diving. I was like, no, that's a flag. Don't do it. You know, just go ahead and score the touchdown. But no, it was a great moment for not only me but my team.
And they really needed your points too, because that was at a time when this offense was trying to figure out who and what it was. In fact, there were some jokes on Twitter, Facebook, other places like, hey, put Shalik Calhoun at quarterback because at least he takes the ball into the end zone.
You know, I do feel like maybe I helped motivate them. Not only that, but internally they motivated themselves. You know, they worked very hard, you know, the first couple of games, and they weren't clicking, but you could definitely see that it was going to happen. You know, it was just that one play that we were waiting to hit, and, you know, finally it happened, you know, the Iowa game. But definitely, you know, I was happy to score the touchdowns, and hey, put me at quarterback, I'll take it.
It just seemed like as the season went on, you guys were just having more and more fun, type away, the yes chant. It almost felt like it was out of a movie.
Seeing us advance each and every game, you know, get better and better, and not only that, but click more and more as a team. It was something out of a movie, you know. That's how we felt. It was just, you know, a dream come true, and we just tried to keep, you know, the ball rolling. And I'm just so blessed to be a part of that team, and I was happy that, you know, I was there with those guys.
There's an expectation with this defense that very few other schools have. Is that something that's a weight on your shoulders, something you really have to live up to?
It is something I have to live up to. I don't believe it's a weight on my shoulders. It's a blessing to be in this position. So, you know, I don't think of, you know, when I think of weight on my shoulders, I think of something negative, and this is a positive. You know, to keep us rolling on this ball, we have to teach our young.
I like it. I like it.
You played under the leadership of one of the all-time greats here at Michigan State, Max Bulla. I have to say, with all due respect, he was really hard to interview.
I think if you had some Michigan players that have played us the last 4, 5, 6 years, they wouldn't ever even know what gap you're talking about, and I quite frankly don't either.
Maybe you see a lighter side of him than we do. I'm
Definitely,
sure you do.
Yeah.
But you are completely different. You got a big smile on your face. You seem real easygoing, fun to talk to. Where does that personality come from?
My mom's always smiling, and growing up with her, she kind of helped me with this whole smile thing going on. She, you know, just seeing her happy kind of puts a smile on my face, and thinking about, you know, achieving all these goals, and I feel like as if I'm making her proud, so that puts a smile on my face each and every day. When I go to the field, I'm a completely different guy. I mean, I'm still smiling. I smile here and there when we make good plays, but I'm that guy that's, you know, on the sideline, you know, and I'm just so focused. I'm kind of like Max, but when it comes to the meeting room, that's how I am on the field, like when I'm Max.
Really?
I'm focused, and I'm like, hey, we need to get this done. This is our job. They don't score another point, or they don't get another yard, you know, and that's kind of how I am when it comes to the field. But I do smile here and there, you know, because I feel like, you know, it is a game.
Pat Narduzzi, is he the best defensive coach in America?
I think the biggest thing is he communicates well with us. Not only, he's not just a coach, he's someone that you know, consider like a father figure, you know.
Really?
If you need someone to talk to, he's there for you. Actually, I'll tell you a story. I hope Coach D doesn't hear this or, you know, watch this interview, but so I have a motorcycle. So Coach Narduzzi, every time he sees a motorcycle accident, he calls me and he asks me. It doesn't matter. He can know it's not my bike. He'll call me and ask me, "Am I all right? Hey, are you doing good? I just saw an accident. I just want to make sure you're okay." So he's more so like a father figure to us. Also, he is that hard, tough-nosed coach, but when it comes down to it, he really cares about us as men, and he definitely watches over us.
You have it on campus? You ride around East Lansing?
I Sunday drive.
Sunday drive. Little victory lap around town?
Yeah, that's about all.
And they let you do that, huh?
Coach D doesn't know about it. Coach D doesn't know about it. So hopefully we keep this, under wraps and he doesn't find this one out.
We won't tell if you won't, Shalik. And as you saw over Shalik's shoulder, NFL jerseys from Golston and Worthy hang inside the defensive line meeting room. It's a motivational tool that's not lost on Shalik. He's a preseason All-American who's got NFL scouts drooling over him to leave school early. For now, though, he's focused on more titles in MSU. But Fred, just imagine that Shalik smile on draft day, right?
Can already see it, Kevin. I hope Coach D isn't watching for Shalik's case. I didn't know he had a motorcycle. All right, what a monster season the big fella had in that Spartan defense last year, hoping for even bigger things this year. When we come back on Countdown to Kickoff, it'll be time for a tour of the new digs at the stadium. North End Zone project now complete, and Kevin returns to take you right through it. It's next, so stay with us.
I want everyone in here, all Spartan Nation, to stand up, and we're going to do this thing right. Yes! 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 Yes!
Yes! I'm rocking. The now famous Yes chant, performed by the football team at the Breslin Center during a basketball game last winter, and the lead singer in this group is senior Travis Jackson, an obscure offensive lineman who will forever be remembered as the creator of this popular celebration. So I wondered how it transitioned from a football cheer into a Breslin main event.
I mean, Coach D just came to me and told me that he wanted to see the Yes chant done in the Breslin Center, and I didn't expect it to blow up like it did, so it was a cool experience. As an offensive lineman, we don't take much credit. We try to stay behind the scenes, so that was probably a rare occasion that that happens.
Where did the Yes chant start?
I'd done kind of like a series of celebrations through last year's camp, because camps are grueling, guys kind of get melancholy and stuff, so I did it so it'd show up on film, a good laugh, keep things light, and then I started carrying it into games and doing stuff. You just see it on the film and stuff. I did the Yes chant during the Michigan game, and so it kind of got picked up on the internet and went viral, so I didn't expect anything of it. I was just trying to keep the guys happy and smiling, so it was definitely a cool experience.
So do you continue that, or you start something new this year?
I think I don't really know after that if you can start something new or continue it. Might have to retire it and kind of move on.
We'll see if it dies or not. The chant took on a life of its own last season. Let's say yes again to Kevin Gale, who joins me now in studio to talk about the new look at the north end of the stadium. A fantastic addition to the old place. Nice digs, eh, Kevin?
Fred, I bet you're wondering what $24.5 million can buy these days. Well, how about a flashy new recruiting center, a big comfy media workroom, and one of the finest high-tech locker rooms in all of America? It's all on display in the new 2-story North End Zone facility at Spartan Stadium. We were there for the grand opening on Monday night for an extensive tour of this grandest expansion of an MSU sports facility since the football tower and press box in 2005. Plenty of legendary Spartans dedicated landmarks in this complex. The new media center is named after Tom and his wife Lupe. The Spartan Hoops coach had a good laugh about that. We all know Mr. Izzo's not exactly a big fan of the media. Spartan Hall of Famer Flozell Adams donated $1.5 million for this gorgeous new locker room dedicated to his late mother, Rachel. First-time visitors couldn't help but snap photos and marvel at the new digs, including MSU Athletic Director Mark Hollis.
The day I'm ready for is Friday when we enter this for a football game, but to be able to open the doors, to be able to see it working and living, and this is a facility, it really connects to campus with the Red Cedar River right outside the glass. It connects to the university in a much more positive and aesthetic way, and see people in here, it's a little bit better than the construction guys I've been hanging out with for the last few months.
And I've seen a lot of classic Michigan State names around the building, Hollis, Bulla, Izzo. This was really a team effort, not only to raise the money, but to get this all put together.
It really was, and I think football is the heart and soul of any athletic department, and while basketball and other sports play a prominent role, football is a sport that really captures almost everything that you need to do as an athletic program. So I think as you talk to our Olympic sports and the value that this has for them, for Coach Izzo, he was one of the first before me to step forward and say, we need a facility like this. So it's been almost 2 years in the making, and it's going to be pretty cool.
You look like a proud papa a little bit today.
Proud and tired papa, yeah.
Now, there was a small faux pas earlier this month. During an early preview of the new locker room, some visitors noticed a misspelled sign. Ironically, the misspelled word was accurate. But Fred, Mark Hollis assured me with a smile on Monday night, all the signs were spell checked, and the Spartans are now ready for kickoff, K-I-C-K-O-F-F.
All right. After more than 25 years of conducting post-game interviews in those hot, sweaty, small press trailers, I can't wait to see the new post-game arrangement Friday night. Thank you, Tom and Lupe Izzo, for the new media center. All right, coming up next, a chat with a man who has been around the Spartan football program for 2 decades and has seen it all. He shapes this MSU football team, literally. We'll have a chat with Mr. Muscle of Spartan football up next on Countdown to Kickoff. A new football season and a new toy for sports fans who watch us on a regular basis. A brand new 6 Sports app now available. You can follow your local teams, MSU, U of M high school sports, Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons. Keep updated on it all the time. It's always on and always free on your mobile device. Hope you check it out. It really is pretty cool. Welcome back to Countdown to Kickoff. T-minus 48 hours now before we start the new MSU football season. And if you haven't noticed the change in the sport in terms of conditioning over the years, you're not paying very close attention. At MSU, a man who was ahead of his time is the muscle behind this team. Audrey Dahlgren spent some time with him. Time for me to flex now, Audrey.
Yeah, Fred, let's see your gun show. Ken Manny's passion for coaching still burns just as bright as it did the day he joined Michigan State's football staff on December 8th of 1994. The Spartans' head strength and conditioning coach brings more than just his expertise to the table. In fact, it may be his charisma that stands out to the players the most. In his 20 years, he's brought enough sweat out of the MSU football team to fill Lake Michigan. But what Coach Manny teaches his players in the weight room travels far outside of football.
You better get used to this, Jarrell. We do it a lot.
I like how energized he is. He always comes in energized. Don't be a second late or it might be over for you.
Don't be the weak link.
All the years that I've been in coaching, the 40 years I've been in coaching, I think every single day, every one of the days, every day that was involved in that 40 years, I've learned something new about dealing with young people.
That's it, Joe!
Ken Manny sort of crosses those, I don't want to say generations because I don't want to make him feel too old there, but from 95 to 2014, 20 years, he's been the guy in charge over there. So our players have come in that time period and worked for him.
Do you find it difficult now that, after being in coaching for so long and the players are younger, do you find it difficult to connect with them, or are you still finding ways to connect with them?
Is it a different generation? Yes, in some ways. But they still want to succeed. They still want to excel. They still want to be the very best they can be. So those things are all there. Sometimes, the approach and how to get there, and really a lot of times how they deal with adversity. I think that's the biggest change I've seen, is how young people deal with adversity. So, try and help them do that, and just be a mentor to them in that. And sometimes it's a tough love mentorship. It's not always warm and fuzzy by design, by my personal design. But I'm trying to make a point to them.
Anything that comes out of his mouth, everyone is just all ears and just listens, just because he's so wise.
Life, football, anything really meaningful and purposeful, it's not like a field trip to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I mean, it's tough. It takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of commitment. If you happen to get a piece of chocolate along the way, which we all like every now and then you'll know you've earned it.
Every minute, man. We only got 30 in there.
you've been with Michigan State for 20 years as the head football strength and conditioning coach. What type of memory did last season create for you compared to all of your years here? What was that moment like for you, winning a Big Ten championship and then winning the Rose Bowl?
You know, Audrey, when my family came here back in late '94, we came here in December of '94 with Coach Saban's staff here. We did not come here with the intent of using Michigan State as a stepping stone to somewhere else. We came here with a very deep-seated, heartfelt, and really kind of emotional mindset that we were going to do everything we could to help contribute to building something great. That season, last season, was really the culmination of everything that we came here to help to try to build.
He's a guy that's extremely loyal. He's had opportunities to leave and go to whether it be LSU. I know when I went to Ohio State, we tried to hire him, and he's maintained his loyalty to Michigan State.
We're from a small town in Ohio where you're taught at a very early age, okay, you start something, you finish it. And through those years, we'd always felt, even though they were sometimes long, hard, tough, grueling years, that there was some unfinished business.
Our players will always be able to go to him, remember their past here, but always be able to go to him for advice and just to sit down and talk.
Okay, here goes Coach Manny again, off on this tangent again, but that's okay, because I'm going to keep coming at him with it until it wears them out, okay? But I also know this, those same kids will come back 5, 10, 15 years from now and thank me for that one little, they'll say, Coach, remember you talked that one time about this, whatever the subject is, and I'm thinking, I have no recollection of that whatsoever. And you said this, and this about that. Well, I just want you to know that, a situation like that came up, and I thought back on that. It really helped me make the decision, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going, thanks. I mean, I'm glad you told me that, although I do not remember ever saying that. So is it having some kind of impact? At least on somebody it is. So if that's the case, then I think I'm doing okay of a job.
Without a doubt, Ken Manny gets an A+ with his players. Every single one had words ranging from inspirational to wise when describing Manny. But they said it was hard to pick just one word to describe him best because there is an abundance of words to describe him. Fred, could you describe Coach Manny in one word?
No, how about two? Classy and scary. I just start sweating when I see that guy. But behind the bark is a very decent human being. Thanks, Audrey. That was great. Nighttime football always seems to bring on interesting weather. Who can forget the evacuation of Spartan Stadium last year? I think there were a couple of them, weren't there? Wanting to make sure we have none of that Friday night, I invited David Young to our program for a game night weather forecast. Tell me something good, my man.
Well, that's right, Fred. Weather very important, and as an unbiased member of the media, as the game's getting a little closer, Spartans are getting ready for their first victory of the year. Let's talk about that forecast. Temperatures are looking pretty good. I don't think that's really going to be an issue. By the start of the game, kickoff time, 76 or so, 70 by the second half. The important thing is I do have a chance for a couple isolated showers and storms. Hopefully those will avoid Spartan Stadium. The chance is not all that high, but it is something we'll have to keep a close eye on as we get a little bit closer to the game. Fred, I'm suited up. If Coach D needs me, I am perfectly ready to help him out. For any unruly cheerleaders he has, I'm his man.
Keep it dry Friday night or tomorrow night for high school football and Friday night for the MSU game, David, and I might come over and just kiss you. All right, thanks for the update. And David thinks Saturday's opener in Ann Arbor for Michigan has even greater chance to be wet. Wolverines opening another season will change the shade from green and white to maize and blue. Up next, stay with us.
I find a lot of the things that they do amusing.
Do you have any?
They need to check themselves sometimes. Can you tell my tone? This game is an important game. This game is an important game. So they want to mock us all they want to mock us. I'm telling them it's not over. So they can print all that crap all they want all over their locker room. It's not over. It'll never be over here. It's just starting.
In the words of Mark D'Antonio, 2 days after his first loss to Michigan as head coach at MSU in 2007, and he sounded fair warning to all residents of Michigan that this was no longer a two-color state, and he's backed up those green and white bold words of 7 years ago. Let's talk Michigan football now. The Wolverines opening up Saturday afternoon against Appalachian State, the school that handed them their biggest upset loss ever. While not saying so, I'm sure that game from 2007 will be on the minds of the Michigan players and coaches Saturday. The Big Blue have other motivations, though, for this season after a 7-6 finish in 2013.
It's a big-time motivator. You know, that's something that it's not a successful season for Michigan, and for us personally, we don't want to be 7-6, you know. So, I mean, it's something that it's in the past for sure, and we get the chance to try to go and be 1-0 on Saturday. So
I think you keep it internal, you know, and you stay close as a unit. You know, there's a lot of cohesion right now. It's a family, it's a brotherhood atmosphere with the offensive line and with the team in general. And I think that's important. You know, you try to block out the noise, good and bad, and just you show up every day to work and you do your job. You know, and if you do those things, eventually the rest will take care of itself.
Brady Hoke is considered by some a coach on the hot seat this year. His boss, Dave Brandon, says that talk is nonsense. Hoke is safe and the man he wants running his program. We'll see about that as it plays out, but Hoke is not a guy who seems to be too worried about his future. He's more concerned about this team. And just what does he want this year's team's identity to be?
I want it to be a football team that can run the football and have a toughness at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I think the identity part of it is a toughness that I think this program has had for many years. And so that's part of what I'm looking for. And believe me, it's been verbalized. What I have heard, seen of this team since the bowl game, that part of it, I think they're improving on.
3 Mid-American Conference teams from our state kick off new seasons this weekend, including the Chippewas of Central Michigan, who open up tomorrow night in Mount Pleasant against Chattanooga. The starting quarterback at CMU is Cooper Rush, the strong-armed former Lansing Catholic High quarterback who has strong-armed his way to the #1 QB spot at CMU. Cooper and the Chips looking for a big year. He and current Spartan Mac McSood were high school teammates, and they are still comparing college notes.
We text a lot. You know, he's just as busy as I am, but I think we get a week off, 2 weeks off in the summer. He comes up here and we'll work out and throw and still meet with Coach Ahern, and you know, I go over there when I'm free and help with their 7-on-7s. But yeah, we keep in contact, and I heard he's doing real well up there, so I wish him the best of luck.
When him and Cooper were here, I told them their job was to make me look good, and they did a really good job of that. And so I'm really happy for both him and Cooper. They're both doing really, really well, so that's good.
The Mid-Michigan area sometimes gets overlooked. I mean, there's great athletes definitely in Detroit and, you know, all over, but I think right here in Michigan State's backyard, Mid-Michigan, there's a lot of great talent here, and I think for me and Cooper just to go out there and represent that is just something bigger than us and something special.
Really good kids, Matt McSood and Cooper Rush, and they really do represent Mid-Michigan very well at MSU and at CMU. When we come back to the Spartans, a man obsessed with his job talks about the defense and this Spartan team. This will be a doozy. Stay with us. That's next on Countdown to Kickoff.
That's what happens when you believe. When you believe and you put your mind to a dream, and you got a dream, those things will happen. Never forget this for the rest of your life. And anything that you do, it can happen. It can happen. Dream big, and let's hit that thing.
I'm rocking again, one of the many poignant post-game locker room scenes from 2013, and what a magical ride it was for MSU. Usually when a program has the success MSU has had the last couple of years, assistant coaches get hired for head coaching jobs elsewhere. Defensive coordinator Pat Narduzzi is the hottest name on Mark D'Antonio's staff, and he has had multiple chances to leave. One at UConn after last season was prominently mentioned, but he's had others. Each time the MSU administration ponied up, and Narduzzi's paychecks keep getting larger to stay right here. Narduzzi's defenses are always good and usually have a few highlight makers. This year's highlight maker could well be starting junior nose tackle LT Lawrence Thomas.
LT is really, this is a new LT. Let me just tell you, LT is playing very, very well. I think the state of Michigan will be happy with what LT's turned out to be right now.
It's a natural assumption, Pat, that the offense is ahead of the defense early on. Do you take exception to that?
I don't know. I mean, you got a lot of talented receivers with him. I can guarantee you that. And the quarterbacks are good. Connor Cook, I still believe is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So I would say the offense is ahead of the defense. But we better stop the run, and we're committed to stopping the run. But if you don't run the ball, you can't win.
Right now, one of Doozy's main weapons in that regard is Twan Jones. He's had 17 starts in his Spartan career at the weak side linebacker position. This season will present a new challenge for Jones as he enters Friday's game as the starting middle linebacker, taking over the role that was once occupied by Max Bulla.
Are you ready and excited to take on this challenge?
I am. I'm very excited. With coming off the spring, I had a couple issues like learning the defense, learning what to do, but over the summer it gave me a lot of time to learn the defense, study hard for it, talk to Max, talk to Greg Jones, and just try to, them giving me advice of things I can do to get better, and it really helped.
What did he have to say to you? Obviously Max was just here, so that's kind of not a surprise, but to reach out to Greg, he's been graduated for a little bit. What were his suggestions?
Basically just, when I go out there, just slow everything down. Basically, don't take it for granted. I have a great opportunity ahead of me. Just continue watching film, be a student of the game, and everything will just fall as planned.
Now, that's kind of the most vocal position maybe of the defense, or you have to be a big leader there. So do you think that your coaches see you as being a vocal person?
Yeah, I'm very vocal, whether it be on the field or off the field. It's just me just taking it as a challenge to go out each day and just try to be vocal and lead my team in whatever I can lead them in.
All right, time to put a bow on our hour-long package. We saved the head coach for last, and Mark D'Antonio is always at his best for our preseason football sit-downs.
Do you ever sleep in?
Yeah, I sleep in.
What's sleeping into you?
Getting up when I want, I guess.
The coach gets up early, stays up late, but this is one coach who sleeps like a baby at night, content with who he is and what he is and his place in coaching and in life. A candid one-on-one with Coach D up next on Countdown to Kickoff.
TV6 Sports Countdown to Kickoff.
He's got a huge heart. He loves his players. He loves what he does. He has a passion for this game and being the best he can be and making these players be the best that they can be. And you got yourself one heck of a great football coach. And we're just so happy to be a part of this. Thank you for allowing this. And we look forward to great things here and great times. Thank you. My husband, Mark D'Antonio.
Becky D'Antonio introducing her husband as the 24th head coach in MSU history 8 years ago, and he has been a heck of a coach for the Spartans. More significant in my judgment than his 42 wins in the last 4 years and the Rose Bowl is the culture he has created. And he has put Michigan State back on page 1, no longer on page 2 or page 3. For the 8th season in a row, the coach was good enough to join us for our preseason special.
We call this show Countdown to Kickoff. Are you counting down? Do you start getting to the hours and minutes before you kick off another season?
Yeah, you do. I think you do that, especially around, Thursday. You sort of get your schedule, and once Thursday's over, you really are on a minute-to-minute schedule in terms of, okay, this is what we do on Friday, this is what we need to do on Saturday, and we got to wait a little bit because it's Friday night, but for this game. But it's exciting. It's the beginning of everything again, and that's why when I came back and said, what kind of mantra do we need this year? It starts here, and this is the first game, so it's where it begins.
Do you ever sleep in?
Yeah, I sleep in.
What's sleeping into you?
Getting up when I want, I guess.
I mean, I've slept till noon, Mark. What's the latest you will sleep in a non-busy time?
Non-busy, I might sleep till 8:30.
That's sleeping in.
That's sleeping in, yeah, hopefully. But, yeah. I get a little, I try to stay fresh.
You sleep well, though. I mean, coaching is important to you, but this doesn't keep you up at night.
No, this does not keep me up at night. It really doesn't. And do the very best we can do. I mean, I think our players do that as well. Our coach, all of our coaches do. And when I lay my head down at night, of course, I work long hours. But when I lay my head down at night, I go home and spend a little bit of time talking to my wife and, you know, figure out what's going on in my daily life, and then, you know, hit the sack.
You've been able to win, especially now with what happened here in the last couple of years, without a football is life or death mentality, because to some coaches it is. It's not to you. Never has been, has it?
No, it really never has been. I think that if it becomes that, then, you know, your life's going to be pretty miserable at some point in time, because you're not going to win every game. You can try, you can work at it. You can have some years where everything moves in one direction and you win big, and then other times, you know, it doesn't fall all the time, and, you know, you might lose a couple. You know, I'm challenged here to try and be a mentor for our football team, and I just continue to try and keep our goals in front of them. Graduate, play football at a high level and championship level, become self-sufficient people, so that you can go out in your communities and impact people. And that's what we've tried to do here, and I think we're doing that. You know, not every single person, but I think we're doing that, and if you're able to do that, I can sleep at night.
We don't see the fun side of you much.
You don't?
Well, once in a while.
Yeah.
The alligator thing was fun.
Dangerous.
But the players tell us that you're a crack up. That's a different side of you, isn't it?
Well, you know, for everybody out there who thinks that I am ultra serious, I guess that's a big misconception, because I'm not. I like to have fun, especially with our football team. You know, there's a serious part of what we do for a living. You know, when there's 75,000 people out there, and, you know, you have to get things running, and, you know, I tell them all the time, you don't want somebody soft sitting on top. You need to be strong. You need to be, there needs to be a plan. You need to stick to that plan. There needs to be organization and discipline, and that's a part of me over here, but that other part of me is this is just a game. They need to have fun with it. They need to stay fresh, and that's part of my job too, is to not make it such a pressure cooker for them that they can't succeed.
Friday night, you're going to stand in that tunnel with your players before the season starts. The butterflies are going to be churning in your belly. I can't imagine as a coach there's a better feeling than to be with your football team in the tunnel to take the field.
No, that's a great feeling. And, you know, usually I attach myself to one guy or something and say, hey, make sure I don't run into the pole while the smoke's there, or make sure I don't trip. And, you know, hey, I got a bad knee. Make sure, you know, I had a bad knee. I had surgery on a meniscus before the Rose Bowl, and, you know, so I was telling Denzel Drew, hey, make sure I don't fall on my face running out here at the Rose Bowl.
Did you say that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I just sort of attach myself to one of those guys, but I like to watch them. I like to watch their excitement. Still a little bit surreal for me. Still very humbling for me to be there in that environment. And I'm a blessed person to be here in this position. And, you know, I take that aspect of my job very seriously.
I've been asked, doing what I do, are you nervous when you're on the air? I said, well, no, that's what I do. Are you nervous when you coach, or when you get into it, is that what you do?
That's what I do. That's what I do. You know, you can't look back. You can't change a play. When it happens, it's done. You can correct it. You can try and make sure the same scenario doesn't happen. When we learn from our mistakes, and we always can reach higher.
After the anthem, I notice you point to the sky.
Yeah, I do. I point to my wife, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
You're pointing upstairs to your wife?
Yeah. I don't know if she ever sees that, but that's what I do. Yeah.
You're pointing to her?
Yeah.
Is that just like I'm thinking about you?
Yeah. Yep.
She knows that, right?
Yeah, I tell her that. I don't know if she watches, but I do that, and, you know, special time.
Somebody told me last week that when you debated taking this job from Cincinnati, that while this was a dream, you really didn't want to leave Cincinnati. You felt disloyal, that you were comfortable there. Is there any authenticity to that?
Yeah, there is. When you recruit people, you basically are saying that, hey, I'm going to be here. I recruited a great class in 2006. I thought it was a very good class, and then I had to leave right after that season. And I felt like this was something that I had to do, to come here. You know, I've always tried to say, okay, why am I coaching? You know, it's to impact people. You have more of an impact here at a Big Ten school in the state of Michigan than you do at Cincinnati, quite frankly. And so I had to make that decision to go, and I had to make that very quickly. We were just on the tip of the iceberg. Now, everything worked out for them, and I'm really happy that it did, because they were able to have great success after. It was still tough to go. It was not a no-brainer. It was tough to go.
This is not really fair, but because you don't know what kind of millions are going to be out there. Spartan for life?
Yeah, I think Spartan for life. I do. I've had opportunities. This is where I want to be. This is where basically I've spent, you know, This will be 14 years of my life here. My children have grown up here, and my wife has good friends here, and there's great people here, and we have great players. I mean, I'm talking about people. So when we're investing in people, I'm going to watch that investment grow.
Well, we had fun at the Rose Bowl. It'd be fun to get back.
Yeah, it would be nice. Yeah, it would be very nice.
Good luck in getting there.
Thanks, Fred.
And we thank the coach for his time. We thank you for your time on our show tonight as we count down to kickoff Friday night. I'm Fred Heumann. See you tonight at 11. Thanks for looking in, folks. Enjoy your season.
Countdown to kickoff.